hiatus, so we had a tag team partner in here. We got that boy Jay Tuck from Cowboys Fans Only with us today.
What's up? What's up? Happy birthday, Miss Mary, first and foremost.
Yes.
And we've won 2 games straight, guys.
I got a question though. I don't see no wig, man. I don't see no wig.
Oh.
Where's the wigs at?
Where's the wig?
Listen, Sweeney Long is on a break. He's on a very long break.
Okay.
Long break.
All right, just wanted to check, man. I want to see.
That wig is gone now. If anybody, listen, we all know the PS5 is getting crazy out here. But if you want to buy this wig, please secure a bot, and I will get you that wig.
Right.
No evidence or buts about it. But again, it just as me and Tuck was talking about before you got on here, Spoonie and anyone else, man, just something about play the Niners, right?
Right.
When you play the Niners. We beat the Bengals last week. We were all kind of like, ho hum, okay, great, we beat the Bengals. We're not as bad as the Bengals.
Right.
And we get it. I mean, it's Nick Mullins or whatever. It's still the Niners a little bit, though. So you're still kind of like, yeah, we might suck and y'all kind of suck. We both got injuries. But we don't suck as bad as you, 49ers. Right. Niners Nation.
Right. Right. That's what it's all about, man. But this was a good, solid win, man. Like I'm ecstatic about this win, man. I felt like the team came out, played to the best of the abilities. Now we did have some questionable calls, and I was just like, all right, here we go. Here we go. But they overcame it, man. Like I said, I don't want to say fully the Hot Boys is back, but I would say
don't go that far.
But I would say I felt like the Dallas Cowboys defense did kind of take that personal because, last year it was that whole beef back and forth about, who's the original Hot Boys and all this. And then the 49ers went to the Super Bowl and you had Juvenile saying they the new Hot Boys and all. So I feel like this defense kind of had like a little chip on their shoulder and you can kind of see it out there, man. But for the most part, this team played well and I'm happy for the victory, man. Let's take this momentum and continue to roll it. You never know what can happen.
You never know.
Right.
You never know. I don't think Spoonie's very happy, though.
No, you know what? I'm happy. My thing is this. I wanted to see some type of fight. Some ambitious. And today what you saw is growth. I love the growth. The guys are buying in. As McCarthy is coaching this team going forward, you see how these guys are buying in more and more and more. Guys like Donovan Wilson, guys we preached about since last season, why he didn't get no burn. I mean, he almost had 2 picks today. Thank God we have a safety who knows how to read coverages and have instincts, which is part of the safety thing. It's not old names, but the right type of guy to play that position. Hey, Neville Gallimore. Hey, listen, he's getting better and better and better. He's 6-star, had a nice key stop. It's great to see the young players come out and buying in. Now, yes, we are still in the playoff race. We got 2 more games left against the Eagles and against the Giants. I mean, have we won 2 games straight this whole year?
We have now. We have now.
Oh, yeah.
We have now. Yeah.
The secondary. Oh my God. Oh my. I mean, listen. I'm buying in. I am buying in. I'm buying in.
Okay. I mean, Spoon's happy then. Okay, no. Spoon's a little happier than I thought he might be. I'm not saying I'm buying in. What I am saying is, if you're going to win, you want to see the future of this team do well. And that's kind of what y'all both kind of talked about. And Spoon, you kind of hit on some of that. You saw Gallimore show. You saw Wilson show. These are going to be the guys going forward. They're going to propel us. You saw CeeDee Lamb with the alert play on even before that. 5 catches, 85 yards, I think, and then get the onside kick and house it. And by the way, and I commented this during the game. I can't remember a guy that's taken so many hard licks in one season as CeeDee Lamb has and just pops up.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. Because that was a lick. And then I was just like, damn. And then it's like, oh, he just hops up. And it's like the other guys laid out. So CeeDee Lamb must be a lot more solid than we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, big facts. We saw flashes from Pollard. I didn't really understand that. We're getting to the game side of things. We were heavy Pollard first quarter. and then we just kind of got away from Pollard until the very end of the game.
Right.
Again, the inconsistency somewhat in the play calling, right? Something's working. And then, of course, when Gallup, goes out, they go to Noah Brown. Well, all of a sudden, why is Noah Brown getting all the number one reads? Somebody help me.
That's what I said. Did Noah Brown win a sweepstakes or something? Like, I'm hearing too much Noah Brown for my comfort level, like, especially with the game on the line. But yeah, man, I think, we did get away from Pollard, and that's just the one thing that's been all season. Like, we get off to a good start with the run game, and it's just like, you know what? That's too boring. Like, I'm not trying to win that way. Let's get away from it. But luckily we got back to it, and we saw what Tony Pollard's able to do, man. He's able to make nothing out of something and go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going to win this late in the season, look, for another week, right, we're still alive, right? And we ride it until that window's closed, no matter what. But you want to see, again, the future, the Lamb, Pollards, the Gallimores, Diggs has some good plays. And again, Cheeto has some good plays. One of the things I bang the table for with you guys in other spaces, if I'm able to, I'm bringing Cheeto back for a cheap 1-2 year deal. Right. We can't turn 60% of this defense over in one fell swoop, and you're going to have some solid guys like that to protect yourself come draft time. I mean, for the most part, outside of one little pass interference from Lewis,
right?
Jordan Lewis might, he might have his best game of the year in this defense. My goodness, 4 turnovers, guys.
Right.
7 turnovers the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, what's going on, man? But I will say this, man. I know we did a lot this offseason, and the secondary was always a bright spot for a lot of us. But I think today was the first time we really got to see it fully intact and fully healthy.
Since week one. Week one, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So I think that's something to build off of. Now, if we can just figure out this run defense or whatnot, depends on how long Vader is going to be out, and also what's going on with Woods. But like I said, for the most part, I like what I saw in the secondary today, especially out of Wilson, man. So
I think Spoonie will be like, Woods, just go and go to IR. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I don't want anybody to think I was happy. I mean, it's an injury. I hope he does, recovers well. But I think maybe IR will be the best thing for him. Only because you can open up a spot for somebody else, like Reggie Robinson the second, or maybe a Bradley at 9. Yeah. I mean, with 2 games left, it's always good to do that. And I'm sure Xavier Woods would like to have an off season where he may promote himself to another team. So IR, it is what it is. Hey, I'm not complaining.
Right. I also, the big thing that was kind of going around Cowboys Nation this week, right, was Steele hasn't given up, blah, 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 pressures and sacks. Yeah, how'd that look today, guys?
Yeah.
Armstead all of a sudden over here rubbing the belly an awful lot.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's temper the Steele stuff all of a sudden. But again, these guys, if you're going to win, and look, maybe not the best game for Steele, but as I'm talking about us winning and what we're all talking about here, those are going to be foundational pieces that are going to be the depth of this offensive line going forward. So it is valuable if you are getting these wins that these young guys are. And this is something, we've talked about a ton, especially on Twitter. Like, and I mean, I've probably since about week 8, to be honest. Like, hey, look, if it's going to be bad, play the young guys. Let's see these guys that are going to be here for the long term in the midst of winning this thing. And no matter what we think about stealing this play, understand he's a McCarthy guy. Number one, let's be clear. Right. He's a McCarthy guy. He's going to be here long term. And if you're able to win and stack these kind of games together, it helps us going forward in the evaluation process that we talk about so much. I know you're not talking draft yet, Tuck, so we're not going to talk draft, but it does help.
Right.
Being that evaluations with those guys, when we're getting into this draft scenarios that are coming sooner than later.
Yeah, and especially because, like I said, we still have the question mark when it comes to La'el Collins, where he's going to be next season. So getting Terrence Steele to get a full season, then a full off season, maybe he can build off of that and become a better player and add more depth as offensive line, which we need. So.
Yeah, and Bluff City with the 2 injuries may be a blessing in disguise. Yeah, we don't campaign for injuries or anything of that ilk. But if other players are able to get involved and whatnot, and kind of go from there, I mean, for sure, I want to see Robinson somewhat in some capacity in the last 2 weeks, whether that's going to happen or not, or Bradley and Nay as well. I mean, as much as we found the symbol for a Nay. Another little slim move that a lot of people are not going to talk about. How about this punter, man?
Yeah.
I'm getting excited about a punter.
Hey,
I like the kid, man. Like I said, he's much more reliable than we had through Jones, and so I mean, I'm saying we move forward with him, man. So
Yeah, I think it's a done deal. I mean,
yeah,
again, and just off of special teams as well, getting some punts down inside. The return game, we've kind of switched how we do the return game with our formation. The return game has been a lot better for us as well.
right.
So at least from old bones, we're seeing some improvement on special teams now. I mean, hey, we got some turnovers off of Nick Mullins. We gave up a lot more rushing yards to third, fourth, and fifth string running backs and whatnot. Mike Nolan, at the end of the day, I'm still going to stand by. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I do believe Mike Nolan's going to be gone.
Right.
I've said it before. I think it's going to be an inside. It's going to be a lateral kind of thing. I think they're going to reassign him somewhere. I don't know if he's going to be out the building. And I think it's going to be Edwards is going to be the defensive coordinator next year. There will be a new DC next year, but I really believe it's going to be Edwards. And I think the biggest thing that we need to talk about when it comes to that, Edwards is a Zimmer disciple, right? Mm-hmm. This is going to, this whole multiple 3-4 defense thing that we talked about with Nolan coming in. I think it's a wash, guys. Right. I think moving forward, we're going back to 3.
Right. I agree. And like I said last night, I feel like, that's going to be the most important thing for the Cowboys to decide is if we're going to go with George Edwards. We're a lot closer to being a middle of the road or top 10 defense with the 4-3 scheme. If we're going to be this multiple 3-4, we have a lot of work to do and a lot of rebuilding on the defensive side of the ball. So I think it's easier for us to go back to the 4-3, bring in these additional pieces along with the secondary players we spoke about and get right back to where we were 2018 approximately. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. End of the day, with the 4-3 defense, you do got majority of the pieces there. Really, just filling a little bit of holes that we have. Especially if we could keep Cheeto for one more year, or at least a 1 or 2 year deal, something small. It lessens the need to go after a corner in the draft where you could address another need like beef up that defensive line, which is important. Maybe another safety if you don't address one in free agency. You go one.
I mean, you already know. You already know. We're going to take Pitts in the first round. Watch what I tell you. Book it. You got Nick said it. We're going to end up taking Pitts. Watch what I tell you.
And here's the funny thing. You're looking at a lot of people's opinion, the draft and stuff. Even like Jeff Kavanaugh, and. It's not a bad move. If you can drive back an extra pick and you get them, it's not a bad move. But the question going to be now, what does that do for Blake Jarwin, who hasn't really played the season, and Dalton Schultz? But Kyle Pitts is a big time weapon. I mean, he's way talented than them two. But we'll see.
Yeah, and again, and we'll kind of see what happens from there and what goes from there. But let me ask you about this in pertains to this victory today. The Cowboys 41, Niners 33 with that
Team
garbage touchdown at the end. Team 40 Burger finally showed up. But with that being said, what did y'all think of the play calling today overall? What did you think about the play calling, Tuck?
For the most part, I was okay with the play calling. I think initially I saw like how they used Tony Pollard. They used him out, they flexed him out a few times, brought him back in the backfield. So, just got the ball in Tony Pollard's hands. That's what we've been preaching all seasons is get the ball in his hands. He can make things happen. So I think there was a lot of balance. Like I said, I would probably lean away from all the Noah Brown looks. But I think that's probably because, Gallup was, limited today. For the most part throughout the first half, I was okay with the play calling. Just at the end when we started running the reverse and then that double pass that we ran with Cedric Wilson, and I was like, that's just too much, too risky, especially being on your side of the field. But for the most part, I think it was a solid game for Kellen Moore. I think we have a lot of kinks to finally figure out when it comes to this red zone offense, but I think that's something we need to really focus on when it comes to the offseason. But I think Dak will help with a lot of that.
Big facts. Spoonie?
Fellas, in Cowboy Nation, Tony Pollard had a great game. But with some of the comments I was seeing today, please, let's stop comparing him to Zeke.
Right?
They're two different players, totally. Zeke can do what Pollard can do in open space. Pollard can do what Zeke does in space.
Right.
Where he got to run over somebody or carry that load.
Right.
Let's just keep it real. We haven't seen Tony Pollard carry the ball 15 to 20 times a game. That's not his game. His game is to be in space. He's a weapon. That's Tony the Tiger Pollard. Great. That's what he does. Let's not compare the two guys. Let's not compare. Because if you see, Dowdy was getting some playing time, doing the thing that Zeke would normally do and, run between the tackles, the dirty work. while Pollard was operating in space. Let's not compare the two. Hands on Tony Pollard, great game, great call by the coaching staff, how they utilize him, like Tuck said. I mean, he was a weapon today, Weapon X.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a marriage, right? I think at the end of the day, this thing has to be a marriage of Zeke and Pollard. Look, I love what Pollard did today. I didn't like, again, as we talked about earlier, Pollard was very heavy in the first quarter, and then he kind of got lost in the wash. And we've seen this happen even with Zeke, right? Be very good in the first quarter, then kind of get lost in the wash, and then you got back to him late, and what a great run, right, for the touchdown. And, and a lot of people are going to kind of pinpoint that and say, well, you see what Pollard did for the 40-yarder, broke the tackles, got elusive, and housed it. But, I mean, before then, his stat line rushing the ball wasn't great. Let's be clear. Yeah, catching the ball was good, but he had one big play, right? And so it kind of slants things, and people are going to say, well, Zeke can't do that no more. But at the end of the day, Pollard can't do what Zeke does either.
Right.
It was great. Sure, Pollard can do this over 3 games. To me, Pollard, and remember, we're going to 17 games next year's, guys.
Right.
16, next year's 17. Like for the idea to think that Pollard can do that for 17 games, I think is asking way too much of him. I think it has to be a marriage, of these guys, and we're seeing wild takes. I saw a wild take this morning. Zeke to the Jets, and everyone's getting their tweets off with this is why you don't pay running backs and everything. I'm like,
it's gonna be all week, man. It's gonna be even worse now. Like I knew before this game, every little thing Tony Pollard can do, but it shouldn't really come down, like Spoon said, to Pollard versus Zeke. I think what can really show is how dynamic this offense can be if you can utilize them both to their strength. And that's what we need to get back to. And like I said, I like the play calling, and they finally listened to me. And you saw Blake Bell go in the quarterback, and the quarterback sneak to get that one guard in the red zone. Like, we have these different weapons. It's really up to Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy to utilize them at the most efficient time. So,
yeah, go ahead, Spoon.
No, I was gonna say, have you guys watched Casino Man, the movie?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. You remember that part with Shush? So here's a new thing I've been doing on Twitter. No disrespect. So a lot of people who try to compare with Zeke and Pollard, X, Y, and Z, and make all these crazy trades, these Madden trades. Look what I posted on them. Yeah. That's it. That's all you need right there. If y'all want that video, send the ball over to me. I will forward to you, and it's all yours. It's all good. But that's what it is. Stop comparing the two different guys.
Yeah, and you need them both, though. Here's the thing. And you do need them both for what they do, right? I saw everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at Pollard in the pass game." I'm like, "Well, yeah, hey, look, man, it's very easy when they don't cover you coming out of the backfield. Sure,
right.
It's really good because they're not game planning for that up out of him, right? Again, I love Pollard. I love what he brings to the table. I love what he's able to do today. But it's a marriage thing. Like the idea we're going to move on and do all these things. I just don't see it. From the back to the play calling perspective of things, things that I like, we actually got a lead blocker out there for Pollard a couple times. Wow, imagine that. And then we ran some play action inside the 10-yard line and got somebody open in the back of the end zone. It's been happening to us all year. So seeing some of those things, like, yeah, that looks pretty good. But I'll be damned. Now, typically, this is the 35 in, but no. Kellen said, "Oh, don't worry, Nix, I got you. I'm going to run. Oh, we just got a big conversion for first down. Oh, I'm gonna get this wide receiver jet sweep off.
Right,
you better believe it. And then you get to third, and then that puts you behind the 8 ball. Then you get to third and 16 or 18. All right, we're going to throw it out here to Wilson, so Wilson can throw it all the way back to Pollard. I'm just like, oh, it's so cute. We didn't need to be cute there because the reason I'm saying that is this is when you lace up, and this is what you do to go close the game because the very next drive that you got the ball, what'd you do? You pound the rock, you laced up, and Pollard houses one. The cuteness of it all is still – something that has to be ironed out of Kellen Moore's play calling to a certain extent. And I guess from a situational standpoint, not a big fan of the 60-yard field goal.
Right.
I'll be honest, because they didn't have timeouts left. If you do miss it, they're now great, fantastic. It worked out in our favor. Right. However, if they end up with 3 points there or whatnot, it changes the complexity of the game, and we're talking way different about that option of going after the field goal. I didn't like that, but outside of that, I thought it was a great. I thought overall, I won't say great. I thought it was very good. I think it was very solid. I think we saw some things that we've been asking to see. Even with Ezekiel, maybe getting a guy in front of him, and a little bit more of the play action. I need Andy to maybe calm down a little bit. He's a little happy footing there, but that's not on the play calling. That's not on the play calling. I think the play calling was very solid today. From Moore, and the game plan was very good as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like Kellen Moore gets ahead of himself sometimes, and like he just can't resist. You know it's going to happen. You know it's coming. And that's the thing. Is like now at this time of the season, I'm just waiting for, like, all right, where's that moment? Let's go ahead and just get it over with because it's coming. And I knew it. And then he run into Amari Cooper though. Like that's not no.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to run that play,
right?
Lamb, Wilson,
Pollard.
Even Pollard, not Cooper or here's what I think too. When Amari Cooper hears that play coming in and he's going to line up, he's probably like, "F my life,
right.
I don't want to." I mean, low key. I think we don't think about this sometimes.
Yeah.
When players hear them calls, I know I've been in the game. I mean, I did play on the NFL level, but I knew what the play call was. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm like, why did they call this here? This is not good.
Right.
I can only imagine Cooper's like, I'm running another jet sweep. Okay, this is great. And of course, and we run right into a blitz from the safety. I mean, but I mean, outside of that little that drive right there, I think overall, pretty solid. Situational, pretty good as well. Outside of maybe, we can talk about the 60-yard field goal. But with that being said, with the 60-yard field goal, and we've seen Greg Zuerlein and what all he's done this year, guys. I mean, obviously he did sign a multi-year deal. How do y'all, with your confidence level on Zuerlein? I mean, we got 2 games left. Your confidence level of Zuerlein being the long-term solution here over his contract here as the kicker, or do you think there needs to be maybe some competition had this offseason?
I would have liked to see competition from the jump when it came down from Cobra Kai between Zuerlein. But I feel like at this point, Zuerlein and Fossil are kind of tied at the hip. I don't think that we're going to move on from them. I think they do like the leg strength, but I'm not fully confident. And the reason why is like I don't feel like for the most part, we haven't been in too many games where it really came down to Zuerlein besides like the Falcons game or whatnot. But he has had his issues. He's has, multi-missed kick games or whatnot. So he's kind of just in between when it comes to me. I know that, he does have the leg, but even when we did the 60, I'm like, he's not making that. He's not making that. So I don't know. But sometimes when you have those big leg kickers, your play calling, you start to take things for granted. Like, I feel like Mike McCarthy was thinking like, oh, well, we're well within range. Like, no, you're not. Like, that's a 60-yard field goal. That's like the end of his range. So, I think that we'll keep him, but I would like to see more competition, but I doubt it's going to happen.
Spoony, your confidence level of Zuerlein moving forward.
If I have to put a number between 1 and 10, I'm going 6. Because he's missed field goal. It was a couple of games ago. He missed like 2 or 3 in a row.
Right.
Like that. It was his first bad game, but like Chuck said, he does have the leg strength, which is key. But my thing is when you have a 60-yard field goal, we expect you to lose to miss those, not the easy ones that you're a good kicker, maybe good kicker. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
But down the road now, during the off season, I do want to see competition. I do want to see competition.
No doubt.
If you look out with this punter right here, we can definitely save some money with Chris Jones now. This is the same with Zuerlein.
No doubt. All right, man. We're going to keep this thing rocking for a little bit, but at this point in time, if you have a comment or a question for one of us or want to talk about the game, go ahead and give it. The line is open, 903-399-1015. Go ahead and call in. We'll get you on there, and we'll go ahead and answer any questions or let you just rip some comments. Hey, man, we won a game.
Right,
I feel good, man. I'm like, man, we went back-to-back. I mean, I don't care if it's the Bengals. I don't care that it's the Niners with Nick Mullins. At the end of the day, man, we won a game. And look, no matter what we feel about this entire season and whatever, hey, Washington lost, which means we're still alive. For better or worse, we're still alive. And here's kind of came around to it, and I've cheated a little bit here now, and I've already kind of forwarded myself and just kind of looking at this draft, and I haven't put my big board together yet. I'm just looking at the big board. I'll be honest with you guys. Be honest with you, Cowboys Nation. For what we need, it's not there. No, guys, guys, it's not there. again, outside of the idea that you're moving all the way up the board to go get a Spoonie, he don't have the wig on right now, but if you're going to go get Trevor Lawrence, outside of it, it's not there. It's not there. That's why I'm telling you now, early on, I'm telling you now, December 20th here, the Cowboys just might be taking Pitts, okay? I'm just telling you, because he's probably about the surefire thing that we're going to look at. They're like, okay, well, this is the pick, especially if they trade back and they're picking about 8th or 9th, right? But even within that, but I mean, look at defense. Look, I think I'm taking the early. I think I'm taking the cornerback and Vontae over Surtain. But even as I'm looking at these things, let me ask you this: do y'all think? And then I'm gonna get stuck on some draft talk all of a sudden.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I know. Okay, but do you think, because we're talking about winning? We won today, right? So we're up to 5 wins. We'll see what that's going to put us out somewhere between picking 5 and 7th, probably somewhere in there.
Right now we're currently at 9, I think. Right?
Are we at 9? Okay,
yeah.
We're currently at 9. Okay, all right. Because I know the Falcons, they were up big on the Bucks. Bucks scratched back and won. The Texans lost again. So I mean, that's kind of where it is, right? So who are we picking? I mean. It's Surtain. Like, take Surtain. Look, great player. Now, there's a wide receiver down there, Bama, that probably should win the Heisman Trophy, but that's neither here nor there because that's not going to be on the radar. Mm-hmm. But you take like Surtain, who's been the name that's been attached to it so much. Is Surtain a top 10 pick last year?
Nope.
He's kind of see where I'm going here because all of a sudden now we're going to be talking about Surtain. Oh, okay. Well, let's go get Surtain. And things that. So the things. Look, where's the defensive tackles in this draft? If we're picking in the right, they're not in the top 10, because I wanted the high pick to trade out anyways. But who's coming up? But we had to be high enough that there was a quarterback there that somebody wanted to come get. If not, and we're looking at these things and we're going to continue to win games. I mean, at this point, look, we might not make the playoffs, guys. We might win the last 2, right? That puts us at 7 and 9. We might be picking between 10 and 15 all of a sudden then. And then maybe we can start talking about maybe a Surtain, whatever the case may be. But I'll look at this top 10 and us sitting in the top 10 if we could get in there. I mean, what's that one player for this defense that you want to Does Parsons move the needle for you in the top 10?
Nope.
I mean, who's that? I mean, the Cowboys position over here. I mean, who do y'all think? I mean, is there somebody in this top 10 that moves the needle for you that you says, okay, this is the guy we have to have, stick, pick, don't trade out. And then mind yourself, you got to get somebody to come with the trade with you if you want to get out of there.
So if we go back, let's fast forward to this past summer. I mentioned this, and this is why I was so adamant about sending this number 1 pick to Seattle, because there's no one coming out in this class that really excites me like that. There's no Chase Young. There's no, even a Patrick Queen. Like, even if we take Patrick Surtain, it's a cool pick, right? But we're not. It doesn't change much. There's no difference between drafting a Patrick Surtain Jr. and bringing back Cheeto for another 1 to 2 years. That's where I'm at with it. So that's the hard part. There's no simple fix. And so maybe if there's a way you can get bulk picks, because if you think about the defensive tackle, I know a lot of people have talked about my guy, Marvin Wilson from Florida State. Yeah. He's maybe 2nd round, maybe can get him in the 3rd, depending on how his combine goes or whatnot. So there's going to be plenty of serviceable plug-in players that we can get 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. So when it comes to this top 10 pick, I really don't see anyone that's like, that's my guy. Last year's CeeDee Lamb, that was kind of a wish or a fantasy, but I just knew, like, all right, you can get that guy, you have to get it. So you keep mentioning Pitts, like Pitts is like that, Chase is like that, like, if he's there, like, hell, take him. But defensively, I just don't see. I think Micah Parsons comes in, he's a addition to our team, and that's nothing more, nothing less. So,
Spoonie, how are you looking at it so far?
I mean, can we get an apology letter? I mean, for all the gripe that me and Tuck took, the tag team champions of the safety world, we took some real bad gripe from a lot of fans out there when we say trade the 1st round pick.
Well, y'all was talking about trading before we got CeeDee Lamb, though.
No.
That's what but afterwards. I know, but then afterwards, yes. I'm just saying beforehand.
It's still a norm. This is the reason. See, now this is the problem. Now, as BJ said earlier, there's nobody in the top 10 that we really need to fix this team. Now, again, Surtain, like Chuck said, he's a cool guy, cool corner. Is he a Jalen Ramsey? No. That's what I was saying. I'd rather sign Cheeto. Now, how bad if you rank Cheeto against the corners in this draft? Cheeto is still in the top 3,
right?
In my opinion, that's what you're getting.
Right.
It's a different name, different player. Now, if I had to get somebody over to the chain, it would be Select Farley. Why? Out of Virginia Tech, he has more makeup speed. He's bigger. He's faster. I mean, he could definitely risk to jump and still has catch up speed. So Taylor, once you beat him, done there. You watch.
Right.
And that was the thing we were saying earlier. Now, safeties. There's no safety. There's not really no first round safety. Maybe a late first round, but again, you can get a whole lot of them in the second round, and they don't separate from one another.
Right.
So this is what I was saying. Sometimes give up the pick. We get too excited with the red carpet draft. Now I get excited from the second for the gems in the second, third, fourth. Not the first round guy, because you have to pick somebody. You have to pick somebody. And guess what? The guy you pick in the first round might not be the best pick out of the rest you pick.
Yeah.
So, But like I said, at the end of the day, we're gonna see how this goes, and this you know what?
Maybe we'll dip into maybe we'll dip into some free agency. You never know, right? Yeah. Maybe Dak's agent, who's got another guy out there, Justin Simmons, will maybe throw us a bone. Maybe let us double dip.
That's what we gotta get to, man. We gotta get to Todd France, man, and hang him off the balcony, man.
Should not in Vanilla Ice status,
right?
Hey, come on, we need it. Right, you know what I'm saying? Got to do something there. But I mean, guys, it's crazy. I thoroughly thought today. I was like, I looked at the schedule. I knew what was going on. I knew who they were playing on, up there in Seattle, and I knew who the quarterback was going to be. And look, and we know it's a mixed bag with us, even though it's Nick Mullins and whatnot. And Vegas had us, heavily favored. By the way, that last touchdown did apparently cover, which is funny. But neither here nor there. I was like, true enough. I said, we're probably still going to be alive, right? Because Washington now granted, Washington has to lose everything. Right. We have to win everything. And the Giants have to lose too, but we need to play the Giants. So they have to lose one more besides us beating them, and I said, man, I looked at it, I said, yeah. And the way this season has been, we're still going to be alive after these games at noon. And lo and behold, here we are. Team Tank definitely took an L today. And I think at this point, what we're talking about as it pertains to this win and looking at how this draft is falling, as we got a little bit more college football underneath us, it doesn't really suit us to really sit here and worry about being in the top 10 or top 5. If we end up there, great. But the kind of win that we got today, I'm still going to hammer home this point, I think, is this. I want to win. I want to see the young guys. If the young guys are the pivotal points, the pillars of what we're winning on, I think that bodes very well for us moving forward. Right. Yes, are there going to be questions on this defense and what's going to be, the coordinator moving forward, and how is the Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore experience going to evolve, and all that stuff's going to be answered. We're going to see. But as far as the 5 inches in front of our face, winning today with the Wilson making the plays, the Pollards making the plays, CeeDee Lamb popping off the screen at you, right? These young offensive linemen getting some more work. Gallimore flashing at times, and this was his 6th start, by the way. So he started 6 straight games now, and we're seeing moments from him. That's the thing. Like now, look, we sat here and said we won this game, and man, D-Law just mashed. Jalen played lights out, and none of these pillar players that are young really did much. Right. I would feel a lot different. The reason that I feel really good about this win is because those pillar young guys really showed up and did their thing today and carried us forward.
Right. I agree. And the biggest thing is, a lot of people have been on this Team Tank thing. I never wanted to be a top 3, top 4 pick. And the reason why is because I don't want Jerry to get the idea of possibly I can move on from Dak Prescott. Like, I didn't even want it to ponder. I didn't even want it to linger in his head. So now that we're kind of at 9 and 10, it's kind of out of the conversation. And so we can just move forward, sign Dak Prescott, bring in some serviceable defensive guys, plug in the gaps, and let's get back to what we were trying to do next season. So,
yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, it's over with. It's over with. It's pretty much we signed Dak. And here's the thing, Jerry. You know your quarterback. There's nothing that needs to prolong the process at all. At all. The minute, I believe it's in February, late February, the minute the new season date starts, start negotiating the deal. Let's not repeat what you did last year. It's ridiculous. Let's have a strong off season. I mean, Jerry, Stephen Jones, you promised Cowboy Nation a couple of days ago. You guys say, and I repeat, we will be 3 times better next year. We're gonna go right to work, right? Don't lie to us. I mean,
right.
I'm about to curse again. Don't lie to us. We don't like lies.
Right.
I mean, it's being real. We don't like to lie. This actions speak louder than words. Go out there, make the move. That way, we can be all excited. We got our quarterback in place. Let's focus on free agency and the draft, and not the soap opera. ESPN doesn't need no more high ratings on the Dak watch. They don't need that.
Right.
They don't need that this year. The Cowboy Nation, we need security. We need honesty. We need to feel great. Hell, they're not buying the tickets. We are. They're not buying the hats and the silver. We are.
Right.
Give us what we want. A team.
Right.
Not slanding soap opera. None of that. We don't need that. Let's go to work.
And I think and to kind of summarize what you're talking about, let's have a unified front this offseason. Right. But from the front office and saying, okay, we're not going to play around. We're going to handle business, and we're going to put things in order, because it's already floated out there. The Cowboys can add, with the way everything's going to be set up, the Cowboys can tag him again and let him play on the tag. Now, he shouldn't. I mean, that's a whole nother litany of things that we can talk about here and there. But at the end of the day, be a unified front on what we're going to do with this team moving forward. If we're going to have this momentum late in the year, right? We've won 2 straight. We got an opportunity in front of us to go out here and win 2 more. Okay, we're battling within the hunt, right? Because it's basically playoff time. It's like, I think actually I heard you say this on your last show. Yep. You said it's basically playoff football for the rest of the year for these guys, which again is why I'm so happy to see these young guys step up and do it, because you're right. I mean, a loss and you're done. Right. It's playoff football for these guys right now. And have a unified front, Jerry, Steven. Don't play around. Get the quarterback situation solidified. And it's going to free up money for you to do stuff anyways, because that money ain't going to kick in right away when you sign that long-term deal. We already know that. We know the logistics. You can't hide it from us. You can't play the shell game. We know how these contracts work, okay? Right. And have that solidified so there's not this thing. I don't want to hear, well, we're going to tag him BS, because here's what they'll do. If they tag him, well, we can't spend money in free agency because we got Dak tagged. Right. We're going to get through this draft, and then after the draft, maybe we'll go ahead and get the deal done with him. But it basically gives them this shield of protection of, well, we can't go out here in free agency and do anything because we have Dak on the tag. Right. Don't do that. Be a unified front. Capitalize on, and look, let's say we just win one of the last 2, right? That means we would have went 3-1 our last 4 with our backs against the wall with these young guys. Okay, propel that in the front office now. And make sure out the gate, have the Dak deal done. Be active in free agency. I'm not telling you to go out here and get your Madden on and just sign every single free agency. But how about be active in the first 2 days and don't wait till day 3 of free agency? Right. Maybe go solidify that safety that you have tried. And let's be clear, right? They have tried to trade for Mika. They tried to trade for y'all's guy that y'all's ready to send. You was crazy. You was ready to send 2 first.
They didn't try hard. They didn't try hard enough.
Right. Oh, fair. And they try to trade for Jamal 2 times. Okay. Well, if there's a Simmons, a Neal, your guy from New Orleans that is available, go ahead, cut that check. Right. I mean, Jerry has said, my hand never cramps up when it's time to write a check. Okay. Let's go ahead and write that check and take care of that safety position, because we know right now there's not one in this draft high enough that's going to help us. Right. And free that up for us to be able to draft what we need to draft. Be solidified and moving forward.
I got a plan.
Moving forward.
I got a spooning plan right here. It may sound a little crazy, but it got a little nice season to it. I say this. You re-sign Dak, right? Mm-hmm. That, like BJ said, that first year, you don't see the money right away. So you're going to have some space. You go out there, you sign Simmons. Sign Simmons. You can get Simmons in here or Jamal Adams. I'm cool with that. Either one is fine. Now you do that. At the NFL draft, you take that first round pick, or maybe the second round pick, you call the New York Jets, hey, how's Quentin Williams doing? Mm-hmm. You don't like him, right? We like him. We want him. Hell, we'll give you a draft pick. You know what? Rank Quentin Williams in this draft with all defensive tackles. And we all know Quentin Williams for 4-3. Oh my God! Or if we do 3-4, regardless, the boy he could go to work. And on top of that, starting his rookie deal with about 2 years left, so you have time to pay him. That's what I would do.
I like that. Michael, off of from our YouTube channel, it's Star Game Podcast. Go hit that sub button. I'm gonna hit my tuck somewhere down there when you go on YouTube. Somewhere down there, hit that sub button over there with the question: do you think he should be signed before the draft? I'm going to guess you're talking about Dak Prescott. Yes, I don't think it should even get to a point where they have to tag him personally. Like this should be as soon as the league year is over, you're available to sign your own guys. It should take like 5 minutes. Like, hey, the deal's already here. Sign it. We're good.
Right. Because, I mean, word on the street was they were so close to the deal last minute. So everything should already be in place. And if you tag Dak Prescott, that's when the games are going to begin. It's like you said, Nick. It's like, okay, we have him on the tag, but we can't sign the free agent because he's tagged. We'll drag it out to June and let's see if we can work. Like, I don't want all that. Let all that pollution happen in Philly. They got all the noise this offseason, not us. Right, so let's just sign our quarterback, got that taken care of, kill the draft, bring in a few free agents, and just get back to just Dallas Cowboys football and get back to winning. But if you have all these different storylines and pollution, typically when the Cowboys have a very loud, messy offseason, the season never goes in our favor. You think about Zeke going back to Cabo. We dealt with that all summer. What happened? We fell short. So let's have a quiet off season where it's strictly just football focus and let Mike McCarthy try to rid the reins of this team and get back on track. But
wait. It's like you wanted to be about football, not the brand.
Yeah. But if the owner ain't tripping, if the owner ain't tripping, we ain't tripping, man.
Hey, do the swipe.
Yeah, we ain't tripping, man. Oh,
no, that is right.
That speaks volumes too, by the way. That speaks.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, the good teams. You don't. All you see is action. Sign. Right. We don't need to have one of these things where this safety we grabbed in the 7th round was excellent. I mean, he could be a Deion Sanders. We're tired of that. Right. We're tired of that. Action. We all know that guy no damn Deion Sanders. Right. Go out there and make some moves, make it happen. Right. I was listening to one of the Cowboys shows the other day, and they asked Stephen Jones this question, and I was like, Stephen, it was like if we was in a TV show and you saw my face on a sitcom, you see this slowly, just like this, slowly. Is he going to answer the question? And the question that was asked was, is Jerry Jones mad? Are we going to see the Jerry Jones that goes out there and sign players like crazy because of what's been going on?
But we don't need that either, though. I
love the question. You know why? Because it kind of puts Stephen Jones in a corner of knowing you've been doing bad lately, man.
Right.
You've been addressing the team very bad, and he was stuttering out the woo-wah. Oh, well, I think we have guys, but it's just the timing of what's been going on. No. Your way hasn't been too good. And that's the bottom line. I mean, don't get me wrong. Drafting is very important. You can't sign everybody. But at the same time, you have to understand, when you have a bad player, you got to replace that play ASAP. You don't. The more you linger with that play, the more it affects the team.
Right.
No doubt. We need everybody on the team to play right.
No doubt. And I mean, we're going to rock out here for another 20 or so minutes. I mean, you already know we can go a long time. If you got any questions, by all means, you can fire them off in the feed. We will definitely answer them and go through there. If you do want to have to call in, the line is open. Give a call there down on 399-1015. But also, you can fire your questions off there. Ed, shout out to you, Ed. I know you'll slide by the shop. I mean, we were a little bit better than y'all today, as he talked about my 49ers. Shout out to my guy, Ed. Again, it's just it would be very, as we're coming off this win, right, back-to-back wins. We've gotten the 5. Okay, can we? Is there a way for us to? There has to be a way that we're all kind of talking about here is carrying that momentum, into, because I'll tell you right now. I've been out. They sucked me back in. I don't think we're going to lose the last 2 games. I honestly don't. I'm not saying we're going to win out. I don't, but I do believe we're going to win at least one of these last 2 games,
right?
For sure. I really do, and that's going to be, and that's what I said earlier, 3-1, and Spoon, and what you're talking about, and obviously the ownership. What you're talking about. On the same token, Tuck is, man, we have to find as an organization to ball that up into this offseason and really carry that momentum forward. Because, at the end of the day, talking about that brand and whether they're tripping or not, I mean, man, we're still packing, look, COVID be damned, we're still packing 30, 40 grand people in that stadium right now. So, I mean, once it's wide open, we already know it's going to be sold out. Right. We know the drill. We know what it is. We're out here. Look, wifey, look, just got the nice new beanie. Right. Look, just got me the nice new cup. Got this merch on deck.
Hey, we selling merch.
We selling, Look, I told my wife, I'm like, I haven't bought a jersey this year. First time in probably about 7 or 8 years, I haven't bought a jersey for the season easily. I'm like, I'm good. I got enough. I'm okay. Let me see how this thing plays out, because at the end of the day, the only we can speak at the end of the day is with our money, whether we're buying the tickets or, we're getting the merch or whatever. And I've never been that guy to the point where I'm like, you know what? I think I'm out on the merch. I'm close though, guys. For the first time in my life, I'm very close to being that guy of really like, hey, man, I'm going to watch and enjoy this thing, do what we do, have these talks. But at a certain point, I don't know, look, it's been a shit season. We know the injuries or whatever the case may be. And it's a good little bow here at the end of the year, how we're winning some games here. We're piecing some things together. And we're on the hope or the wish factor, right? You go back to the old said the entertainer from Kings of Comedy, right?
Right.
You live by the hope or you live by the wish factor. It was like, well, I'm tired of living by that. Well, I hope we do good this offseason.
Right.
I'm ready to be like, I wish they would mess up. Hey, I'm ready to write and do something about it. Right. And look, in Smoothie, you talked about this a lot this offseason or this regular season. Mm-hmm. When is Jerry going to get upset enough? Time, the time is running out on him. And even Steven talked about that on 105 through the fan. Like Jerry knows, time's running out. He's not getting any younger. So at what point is it okay? When do you push all your chips? And this is something we've talked about for over years, Spoonie. So one of the first few conversations me and you had, and I told you, I said, I'm looking for the Cowboys front office to say, we are pushing all of our chips to the middle of the table. Because for me, I can't tell you, or the last time I felt like this organization has really just pushed their chips into the middle of the table, saying we're going all in and we're riding no matter what. This is what we're going to do.
Right. I agree. I mean, because you take a look about, what the Kansas City Chiefs have done. Like right now, they know what they have. Their chips are all in on the table. Tyrann Mathieu, who I don't give a damn.
Look, gave Sammy Watkins, look, outbid us, right? We were like around 15, 16. They're like, no, Sammy. Here's this extra check. Right. And he's not even their number one. They already had Hill in the house.
Yeah. Right. But they're all in. And that's what me and Spoon was preaching about Jamal Adams. Granted, you could probably get a safety. We can draft a safety this year, and maybe the next 3 to 4 years, he turns out to be the next Ed Reed. Who knows? But what you get in Jamal Adams. Why not just bring him in right now and get it done? Because Dak Prescott's not going to get no younger. We see what's happening with Ezekiel Elliott and a lot of these guys. You don't want to miss their window of opportunity. You take advantage of what you have. We know what we have on offense. If you can bring in a guy that can grant you instant impact, instant guaranteed impact right now on the defensive side of the ball, you just got to put your chips in. If we missed out on a few draft picks this year, then so be it.
Right. Well, and look, the Chiefs drafted a running back, right? They drafted a running back.
Right. And
as soon as Bell was available, we'll take Bell too. We'll take Bell too.
More chips. We'll put them all in. Whatever. I don't care. Yeah.
And see, you know what the attraction to is? That players who get released want to go over there. So once they clear waivers, they're like, I'm going somewhere where I can win me a championship. The kid from the Giants who got cut because of he's falsely accused.
The cornerback.
He was good. Yeah. What did he do? I clear waivers. I'm going to the Chiefs.
Right.
What a great story. That could definitely be a real good film movie in the NFL. They decide to do on Baker. Le'Veon Bell. We know what Le'Veon Bell can do. Well, I'm getting released. Oh no! I've been on this bad team for the past 3 years. I want to be in the play like the way I was in Pittsburgh.
Hey,
I'm going to the
and they did it last year too, right? Because whenever the running back, Reed's old running back from Buffalo and Philly,
McCoy.
Susan McCoy was available.
Yeah.
Hey, come on over here. Come on over here.
And
They're always all in.
Right. And Taji Sharp, Tennessee. He's not a big name, but he's a very serviceable wide receiver. They have guys that can start if one goes down. They don't miss the beat. That's the attraction that the Cowboys used to have a long time ago. That I want to go over there. Really want to go over there. I'll play for a chip.
Right.
I'll get and I worry about the offseason when I'm a free agent. That's what we want. This stuff going on right now, we're in a story too much. When you got, some of the comments that being made, it's crazy. We're not going to attract nobody. I mean, guys can't do anything once we draft them.
Yeah.
But hey, now going back to Jamal.
Hold on. We got another question here. Jerome chiming in says, "Does this win do anything for us?" I mean, at the end of the day, it keeps us alive in the playoff hunt. I mean, no matter what, we're still alive in the playoff hunt. No matter how slim it may be or whatnot, it keeps us alive in the playoff hunt. And number two, the thing that I've been preaching about the whole time since we've been on, the young guys contributed to a win in a playoff atmosphere, as my guy Jay Tuck talked about on his show on Cowboys Fans Only on YouTube a couple of nights ago. Like it matters. Yeah, it absolutely does. It does a lot for us. In my opinion, I know it's Nick Mullins, whatever the case may be. I think this win does a lot for this team.
It does a lot, man. Because even going back off of the game versus Cincinnati, I felt like that did a lot for morale. Like you saw the guys flying around. You saw, it felt like the defense actually enjoyed being out there. And so sometimes as an athlete, you just need to get over that slump. Like I was saying that with DeMarcus Lawrence, it was such a long drought before we got a sack. And when he finally got one, it was just like, all right, yeah, okay, I can do that. And then you seen DeMarcus Lawrence kind of excel moving forward. I feel like with this defense, what we saw versus Cincinnati, you got a few turnovers. So it's like, okay, well, damn, maybe we can get the ball. Maybe we can, lock up and stop the run a little bit more. And so you start to carry that from week after week. What the problem has been this season, we saw flashes of it like versus the Vikings, and then it went away.
Right.
If you're able to build off of, Cincinnati also after this game, and then also take that into Philly versus your rival, can you imagine we come out versus Philly and get 3 turnovers, 4 turnovers again? Like that's going to be a lot going into the offseason as well. Like, okay, maybe this defense is a little bit different than what we thought we were. So.
Yep, and I mean, as this thing comes together, right? Because you're talking about the Minnesota game, right? So you played, you had the letdown after the Minnesota game, but I mean, look, you had to play. Look at the quarterback had to play.
Right.
So it's things that happen within that, and you're right. So I mean, there has been flashes. They put it together the past 2 weeks. Completely agree. I mean, again, Wilson gets the interception. All of a sudden, what happens? Brown gets the interception. Oh, we can take the ball all the way through the air, not just fumbles. Go ahead, Spoon. Win do anything for us? What you think?
Oh, 100%. It makes the best come out of our players, and we're gonna see the big potential come out. Donovan Wilson had 2 picks, and even though he missed the second one, what I loved about it, his read. He was reading the quarterback. That's the one thing that me and Chuck was preaching last year when we wanted Jamal Adams. You're going to see the best come out of these guys that when it's time to make a decision on the plays that you want, it's going to be like, well, you know what? That guy showed me something. That you can't keep everybody, but you're going to keep a good amount of guys in here that you can build on. Plus, whatever you do in free agency, plus the draft. On top of that, it does great for McCarthy because why? They believe in it. They believe they're going to come out and ball out. And when you get Dak Prescott, oh, my God, that's the messiah of the team right there. That's even going to build even great. But real quick with the Jamal Adams thing, he has 8 sacks on Seattle, right?
Right.
8.5, the most on the team?
Most for a defensive back ever in a season. Another question here from Jerome. From each of one of your opinions after the season, what do we need to change or fix? I'll tell you what, let me shrink that down because, I mean, me, Tuck, and Spoon, if we get started on that question, we'll all take about an hour about what it is. So I'm going to modify your question a little bit. What is the one thing for sure that needs to be changed or fixed? Tuck, the one thing from each of our opinions this season, what do we need to change or fix? One thing.
I mean, the culture, I would say that's the easy answer with the team. But if we're looking about position, I would say we need to focus on the defensive line and interior. So I would say defensive tackle.
Spoonie, the one thing has to change or fix this offseason.
Yeah, I'm with Chuck. Is the defensive line. We seen how the 49ers was having a way running the football. The secondary, we seen everybody back for the first time in a minute. And it was kind of like, wow. You saw Diggs, you saw Anthony Brown. you saw Lewis, and you saw Cheeto. They all played well. Donovan Wilson, of course. Xavier Woods, a couple of plays, everything until he went out. So defensive line is still a big issue.
No doubt. Hey, shout out. Hey, I mean, also, by the way, how about Brown and Des Bryant getting touchdowns today? Wowzers.
Yeah.
On the same day. First time in a long time this happened. Shout out to Des Bryant, throw at the eggs, first one in over 3 years. I think for me, I'm going to pivot a little bit. I think, and some of my reasons is going to be, I'm seeing Gallimore coming, right? I'm seeing Gallimore coming. I'm seeing the flashes. I know a lot of people are out on Tristan Hill. I'm not out on Tristan Hill. I think I think Hill was showing flashes. I can only imagine where his game might be right now if he had not gotten hurt. So I'm gonna table that. I think the one thing for sure, I'm just gonna go with clarity. I want it to be laser focused this offseason. I don't want the him-ha. I don't look. I'm not trying to look. The number one thing for me is don't tag Dak. How about that?
Right.
That's my number one thing. Pay Dak off the rip. Don't tag him. Free it up and move. And that'll be my one thing. I want laser focus from this front office and getting this thing turned around.
Cowboys Nation, I know y'all might disagree, but I would be okay if there's no fanfare for training camp this year again. I'm
okay with that too, actually. You know, I mean, I know a lot of influencers and a lot of folks and a lot of folks out there in Cali would not be very happy with that decision. Right. You know, but I'm okay with that as well. As much as this thing can get back to just football. Look, the brand. Here's my thing. All right, as we talk about the culture and the brand and everything else, the brand sells itself.
Right, we're gonna be there regardless, especially when that stadium opens back up. Like, people do our part. I don't need all the ESPN headlines and all the circus going on for me to say, you know what, I'm gonna support the Dallas Cowboys. So it's like, just give me the football product. I'll do the rest. I'll do my job. But
and please, Cowboy Nation, when we turn on tomorrow and watch these shows, and if you see
just don't. I don't.
A debate of Zeke versus Pollard, please change the channel. Don't.
But you man, come on, you're gonna fall for the banana itself. I don't watch them shows. I don't watch them shows at all.
Yeah,
but you already know. You already know it's going to happen. It's already going to happen. But hey, look, man. But on the same token, as we're talking about the Zeke and the Pollard thing, hey, man, let's be clear here. Man, let's tip our cap to Pollard. Hey, man. Yeah. Again, as Tony Romo said it so eloquently, football is a meritocracy. And you gotta look rent's due, and you gotta pay it every day. And football is about opportunity, and when you get your opportunity, you have to do something with it. And look, Pollard did that. And even in the makeshift that we talked about, in this show, and then we talked about even during the game, like he got a bunch of looks in the first quarter that kind of away from him. But when he was ready, when they called his number again, and he didn't completely close. Technically, he closed the game, right? But overall. He didn't ultimately close it, but again,
it's not new with Tony Pollard. It's almost 1 year anniversary of the game versus the Rams last year. I mean, so we all know what Tony Pollard is capable of doing. Just give him the opportunity to do it with the staff and with the Cowboys. So I'm happy for Tony Pollard, man. He's always been a beast. I've been excited for him since the moment we got him.
Right, and see, and to piggyback off that, Tony Pollard. We all knew that Tony Pollard. This is why we got him.
Andrew's coming about for the Animal Crossing tomorrow. If you want to sell the Mario Kart, I told him and everything. And if we can get him another one, so be it. But the Animal Crossing for sure, Mario Kart should be sold as well. That's good to go.
Get that PS5 spoon.
Hold on. Yeah. Sorry. I thought I muted myself. My bad. Am I muted? Yeah, business call, man. It's holiday season, man. We're slinging these games. Sorry, my fault. I thought I said try to mute myself, but yeah, man. I mean, again, back to the same thing. I mean, Pollard had to come through and show up. His number was called. And he did. And that's big. As we see these young pillars, and as Wilson's coming back, from the injury and whatnot, we saw the impact from him as well. Maybe some of these guys that have kind of been here for a while. I mean, I'm not going to just single out the linebacker position and whatnot, but could maybe take a little bit of hey guys, it's not you need to come along for this ride too, and maybe I'll even double down one more guys on what happened back with the one thing needs to happen leadership is a funny thing, right? It's we know Deck's the unequivocal leader of this team. We know that, right? But I'm not saying we need a Dak on defense. I love what D-Law does, and I love D-Law. We do need, and this is one other thing. Now y'all going to get on me a little bit. There will be unequivocally, if Jamal Adams was here, who the voice of the defense was.
Right. Who's the alpha?
Who's the alpha? And we just don't have that alpha on defense for me. Like I said, I think there's a bunch of dogs. I think they're not a bunch. I think there are dogs. But there's not that one singular. Because, D-Law will give you some snippets now. I like to start shit out all y'all. There are different things that he says or whatever. But I would like to see them get that, have that guy walk. Look, he could be on the team right now. I want to see that guy come through the building, though, a little bit more. And that could be D-Law even. I'm not saying that it's not D-Law, but just a little bit more in rallying what this thing is.
It sets the tone. It sets the tone. With that game that I talked about the other day on Twitter, when Marcus Lawrence came out and said versus the Saints, what we're going to do, until you hit MFR in the mouth, like that set the tone all week for that Saints game, and that's exactly what they came out and did. You need some of it. If you even go back to what Jacksonville used to be, when Jalen Ramsey came in that locker room and he was calling every quarterback trash and then backing it up, like you start to feel that as part of the team. So we just need, you don't have to be that brash, but if you have a Jamal Adams, if you have a Earl Thomas, it's one of those players who just isn't afraid of what the offense has. It really just stems to your defense. So,
hey, what's going on? I got somebody down here. Diane, the number is 903-399-1015 if you want to call in, man. The number I just threw up there is the number you should call in on. But yeah, man, that's one thing for sure I think should be solved this offseason, whether it's on the rec, whether it's on this team, or you're bringing somebody in. And, I have a funny feeling maybe Mr. Wilson might end up being that, perhaps. We'll see. We'll definitely see, man. But again, I just
and listen,
for sure.
Guys like
go ahead.
No, guys like Ken Norton Jr., guys like Davin Woodson.
Yeah.
Those are mouthpieces and the defense. When you heard their voice, everybody listened. Everybody went on performing play to the best of their ability. It's always good to say snippets during the media time, but no, we need a voice in that locker room. We need to get everybody going. We know Dak is a leader, but Dak is not on the field during the defense. He's on the sideline, resting. We, again, see somebody back there. And Jamal Adams, listen, I already know.
Because you think about it, all the Cowboys for the past, 5 to 10 years has been offensive players, whether it's Dak or Zeke or Jason Witten, granted we have Sean Lee, but he's not outspoken like that. So there's never been this attitude, this swagger on the defensive side of the ball. We just haven't had that player in so long.
Speaking of, and we played the 49ers, it takes me back, and I remember we had a particular kicker. I'm not going to shame him, and he goofed on the extra point. And boy, Larry Allen turned around, grabbed him by the face mask on the field. We need one of those kind of guys on defense.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone should tell Jalen Smith, shut up.
Right. Hey, have you seen Jalen having done something he normally do? The swipe. Right. He has not done the swipe. And I don't know is because, maybe.
Well, he don't have to do the swipe, but he's in every daggone picture, though.
Right. So a turnover, man. He's all in the picture. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, he's all in the
picture. Hey, shout out to our guy Jerome said you guys need to be nominated for a sports award, man. You guys are tremendous. Hey, man, we appreciate that. Appreciate you rocking with us. Yeah, man. I just want to see that kind of guy on defense, man. Like I said, I love D-Law, and I think and I do think he's a dog, but I think he's a dog within himself. I don't think he's the type of guy that's going to go over there and look at Jalen or LVE or Cheeto and say, you need to get yours together real quick, and we gotta have, again, I think that's, maybe I'm wrong, but I'll die on this hill. I do think we have players on defense, because I know a lot of people say we need to get rid of this guy, and the LVE is just trash. He can't get the point of the block, and Jalen Smith, coverage was, and then we see the tape, we kind of know these things, but I think at the end of the day, I don't think there's a guy on that side of the ball that holds them accountable. So If it doesn't go right, so be it. But if something does go right, everybody's ready to cheer and campaign.
Right.
You know, and I think that's just a thing that has to be solved, regardless of who the coordinator is.
Right. We have talented players. We don't have players with DNA. If we could just like inject Dez Bryant, pull some of his DNA and stick it into Jalen Smith's neck, like we would be a lot better than where we are. We just don't have that. Like I've never seen a defensive player like spazzing on the sideline or tossing the helmet. Like nothing. It's just like, okay, well, we just gave up another 300 yards. I'm just, you know.
Hey, look, and that's why everybody, you know, loved Chris Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's not anywhere in the league, and we still hear about maybe Chris Richard, this and that. It's literally off the basis of he would get pissed off on the product on the field and would let guys have it on the sideline.
Right.
And it got your juices flowing because you felt like he was speaking for you.
Right.
But you got to have a player. He's only a coach that only is going to work so much. You got to have somebody that's on the field that's worth his weight to do the same dadgum thing. You know what I mean? What's going on? State your name and where you from?
Santa California.
California's in the building. What you got for us?
How about them boys?
How about them?
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, you're in California. I know you. If you're in California, I know you're having a great time right now.
Yeah, I'm in a great mood right now.
Awesome. What do you think, man? You think the Cowboys got a chance to get in this whole tournament or not?
I hope so. Let's see what they do this year.
Awesome. You got any questions for us or any other comment?
Let's get rid of Zeke. Bring in Tony Pollard.
Not yet.
I don't think that's the look yet, my guy. I don't think that's the look yet.
I know, but it's like they're not saying like Zeke, calm down. Let Tony Pollard play for now.
I mean, we'll see for the rest of the year, and then we'll regroup and go from there. Appreciate the call, brother.
You think we're going to playoffs this year?
Look, man, it's 2020. I'll leave you with this. Anything's possible.
All right.
How about that?
No game
All right, brother. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean,
I'll say this, Spoon. It looks like your Jets might try to get out the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes them damn self right now.
I don't know. We're winning 23. I'm like, what's going on?
Don't find a way. Trust me, they'll find a way to lose it here. In a second. Don't worry. They'll find a way to lose it. But yeah, I mean, here we go. Hey, guys, we talked about this during the show. We talked about the Twitterverse, and Spoon said, don't watch the shows tomorrow. What's going to happen? There you go. That guy right there.
The low hanging fruit, man.
It's over. Get Zeke out of here. Let's go, Pollard.
No, here's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the Skip Bayless jersey tossed in the trash. He'll probably toss Zeke's jersey in the trash to set it up. You know, Skip will come out and bang on the table. How about them Cowboys? And you know, it's just gonna be a mess all week, man. But this is what we want. This is what we be asking for sometimes.
We listen. We all have our opinions, and that's great. We all gotta respect our opinions. But my thing is this: understand what you're saying. You know, basically understand that both backs are different. They are both different types of backs. Zeke can't do what Pollard do. Pollard can't do what Zeke do. They complement each other. That's the main thing. Pollard can't carry the blow for 20 carries a game like Zeke can. Zeke cannot operate in space like Pollard can. They both complement one another. This is not a versus thing. I'm seeing guys now saying we could say 15 mil just by trading Zeke. All right, if you want to say trade Zeke, that's fine. But don't say trade Zeke and start Pollard, because what they're going to do is still draft a back or sign a back that could do kind of like what Zeke does, what they want to do, the dirty work. That's the thing about it. So it's like, if you want to save money, I say fine. But don't compare the two where we could start Pollard and Zeke, because no, Pollard ain't that type of running back.
And here's what I'll say about that. We had the opportunity for this, y'all, last year. The first 3 to 4 games, if we would just let Zeke sit out in Cabo and ran with Tony Pollard for a few games, we might have sat back and said, you know what? We are all right. We don't need to sign Zeke to a $90 million contract, but Jerry jumped the gun. Now here we are. So we're pretty much at the point where we're stuck with Zeke. It's damn near impossible. I mean, not impossible, but it's going to be rough to try and get out of that contract. But we should have did this last year. I feel like if we had let Tony Pollard get his run, those first 4 games, we would have probably evaluated things a lot different how we handled the contract negotiation with Ezekiel Elliott. But we caved. So
yeah. I mean, it's very true. You know, but I mean, it's like I said. Yeah, I mean, but it's like I said earlier on in the show. It has to be a marriage. It's what it boils down to. It has to be a marriage. That's what it is. It's not castaway one, castaway the other. Oh, I can get pieces for this or whatever. Like for what this backfield needs to be moving forward, especially again, guys, y'all got to remember we are going to a 17-game schedule next year. It has to be a marriage of these two guys in this backfield. And that's up to, and again, as we talked about the play calling. We commented about the play calling today during this win. Situational football again with Mike McCarthy. It's about those guys getting in that office and figuring out how to marriage them and getting the best out of both of them at particular times.
Right.
The question here from Steven says, we keep speaking of the DBs. How about replacing the DB position coach? I mean, Harris ran up Brendan Carr out of here. We pretty much know that, right? I mean, there's something there, whatever the case may be. So he rubbed him wrong. But again, I don't know. I mean, as you talked about off top there, J Tuck, this is the first game since week 1 that we've had our full complement of cornerbacks. So I don't know how you completely evaluate that thing as far as the DBs coach. I do think schematically, I think there have been issues. J Tuck, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I don't think you can run him out this quick because we haven't seen him with the full capability. As I mentioned, we've had so many injuries when it comes to the secondary, and we have seen some improvement. I think some of the issues that we've seen, we just haven't had the players. When you have putting Thompson back there, Xavier Woods, miscommunications and different things like that. But you have seen a leap forward when it comes to Trayvon Diggs. You've seen the growth. So I won't blame the defensive back coach until I see him with the full capability of what he has with his roster yet. So
and on top of that, remember these are the same guys that we have for the past couple of years.
Right.
So this is what we know of them. And again, they was coached by different coaches. I always say it's easy to blame a coach for a player's failures, but you gotta look at the player. You know what I'm saying? The coach can tell the player how you tackle, how you play this, how you play that. It's up to the player to do the best way he can. Now, for Al Harris, I can tell you this right now, we're having more action in that secondary as far as turnovers with this coaching staff than last year and the year before that.
Right.
I mean, seriously, when was the last time we had a safety almost have 2 interceptions in one game?
Right.
And on top of that, Donovan Wilson had a preseason.
Right.
But we was all excited about that preseason last year, and they played no playing time. So again, you have a good player. Now, I'm not trying to get on the safety of the other guy, Xavier Woods. I'm just saying you got to be honest. We all said breakout year for how many years already? Well, this is his last year, and guess what? Even with a new coaching staff under, he's still giving us the same type of play, right?
Right.
That's an example right there. Diggs has grown up to be that man. We know Al Harris in Green Bay. He was a thorn in everybody's ass. Mm-hmm. He would get those late picks, those sneaky picks. We getting down with Diggs. Hell, Cheetah almost had one today.
Right.
And mind you, I remember BJ is a big Cheeto fan. I remember he through the whole offseason kept on saying he's always around the ball. Just hasn't made that play. Now he's like a second away. Today he almost had one in his first game back.
And he turned. Here's the thing: he turned his head way before the ball got there.
Yes,
which is coaching. Like beforehand, that play in particular is a case study, if you will. Cheeto previous staff never would have turned his head, and literally turned his head before the ball ever got there. So I mean, I think there's a lot of things to be desired on this defensive side of the ball from the scheme and what he tried to do through Zoom meetings or whatever as the defensive coordinator. But I don't think it's time to throw the DB coach away just yet. I don't think it's time to really do that yet. But going forward, it is a moving piece for sure. But with that being said, man, we get to line up for Victory Monday tomorrow, 2 weeks in a row. Feels good. I mean, the last Monday right before Christmas, So that feels fantastic. We get to sit back and understand that for one more week we play meaningful football. Not that all football's not meaningful,
right?
But it's meaningful football in the instance that we can still get into the playoffs. And that little extra edge on this game, and see what we have as we line up next week. So, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. The Cowboys 41, Niners 5 straight on the Niners now. I believe it is 33. Mm-hmm. We appreciate our special guests, Cowboys fans only. Jay Tuck, Just hit 500, right? You just passed the 500, right?
500, man. So appreciate all the support, Cowboys Nation. Now we pushing for that 1,000 mark. Appreciate everyone going to the store, cowboysfansonly.com. And yeah, I appreciate my brothers for having me, man. And continue to keep this thing rolling, man. Continue to compete, continue to push, continue to fight, and we'll see what happens. We'll sort it all out at the end of the season, man. But people don't understand, man. It's a long journey to get back to September, man. So enjoy these last few weeks of football that you got, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Never lied there.
Right.
Because what I mean, once the season's over, yeah, sure, there's some playoff football or whatever, and Super Bowl, blah blah blah, February, blah 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 blah. Yeah. But that ain't Cowboys football, though. We ain't in it. So you're right. That long trip to September is something. Spoonie.
Listen, my favorite part of the offseason, I love the draft, but it's when March 9th, when it's a free agency time, the rumors. Okay, Friday you can agree on a deal, but you officially sign the following week. And it's like, oh my God, you heard about this rumor? That, I mean, it gets everybody so excited. Then you got the draft in April. I mean, it's so much things to get excited. And this is what I can't wait. And don't get me wrong, I'm buying in. I want to see if this team really is fighting this hard. I don't mind seeing this team in the playoff. I mean, our chances are bad,
right,
against an opponent, but you never know. It's any given Sunday. We've seen teams in the past go in. It's not how you start, how you finish, and surprise everybody. And again, the fight is on. The team is getting hot at the right time. They're coming together. That's what's important. And again, like I said, like Chuck said, you got to enjoy this. You have to enjoy it. If we could be Philly next week, we all going to be hyped up for the last game of the season against the Giants. And I'm going to tell you this, Meadowlands, you're lucky. You're lucky COVID is here, because, see, the Meadowlands don't like Spoonie. I bring a lot of attention over there in that parking lot. I bring a lot of attention in that parking lot. And
you're going to bring some, was that January 3rd? You're going to bring some January 3rd?
Oh, yeah. So next, hey, listen, I got to read the Jersey rules, but I know there's nobody over there. But hey, I may just, for shits and giggles, I may just stop by just to talk some shit. I don't know. I may just do that. But I'm going to tell you this. 2021, be clear out of this. Oh, Spoonie's going back to the Meadowlands. Oh, y'all got
Well, I will say, as my guy Sean Smith has chimed in, says, I think we should have tanked and he backdoored it with. Kind of pissed we have won the past two in a weird way. To a certain extent, I understand that, right? Mm-hmm. But again, if you're winning with your particular young pieces that are moving forward, are doing the right kind of things, you got to be excited about that. Again, this draft isn't the draft. Unless you're going for a quarterback, this ain't the draft, Chief, to be in the top five. It's just not it. And that's what we're talking about. Man, we got one more call before we get out of here. State your name and where you're from.
Yeah, this is Jerome. I'm from Garfield, New Jersey.
Jersey's in the building. Brick City.
Yes, sir. Yo, man, listen, I want to call y'all guys, y'all craft. Y'all deserve an Emmy.
Appreciate it, man.
I look at no other sports online than the game.
Yeah.
But the question is, real quickly, when Dak comes back, how long do you think it would take for him to get back into his form?
Okay.
I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna sit back and listen to y'all. Give me the intake.
Okay, awesome. All right, man. Appreciate the call in, brother. All right, so there's the question. Dak coming back from injury, right? We know where it was at. We know what happened. Where does how long do you think it's going to take him to round back into form, guys? Is the question from a guy from Brick City, Jerome.
Yeah, I think Dak will be ready by camp. I know Dak is a workout warrior. He's going to do everything right to heal as properly and as fast as he can, but he's not going to risk it. He's going to come back fully healthy 100%. So I expect Dak to be fully ready by training camp. So what, July? So
Brian, Spoonie?
I guarantee you by Super Bowl week, when they had all the stars come out, and comment about the teams, I guarantee you we're going to see Dak Prescott showing off, saying, I'm back. And, once the doctor clears you, I think he'll be cleared to play, to even practice way before camp and everything. But I guarantee you we're going to get a nice glimpse of how healed he is and going forward. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll obviously they've already talked about that he's way ahead of schedule, right? We saw the clip where Zeke was kind of hobbling and Dak kind of held the thing out and walked without a hobble and stuff like that. You know, so you know, I think from a health standpoint, I think absolutely I agree with Tuck. I think he's definitely going to be ready to rock health-wise by training camp. I don't think there's going to be any delay, or we're going to be talking about he's going to start on the reserve list, and it has to get better. I think health-wise, he's going to be ready to rock day one of camp. Hopefully, with everything going the right ways, we have some OTAs. I think, and then this is kind of to Spoon's point, I think Dak will get into OTAs as well. I think that's where he's going to be at. Now, obviously, big fumble on a punt return with 6 seconds left, and the Saints could not recover it in the end zone. Wow. Anyways, it was crazy. But anyways, as far as on the field, right, because I think maybe Jerome was kind of leaning towards the, you know, where Dak was on the field and on the meteoric kind of season rate for the passing yards and stuff like that. Honestly, I think week one, I just think the mental makeup of Dak and what he does, I think he's going to be so healthy, so far ahead of getting back into the game, you know, the OTAs and training camp. I think he's going to have he'll be able to be in rhythm and and when week one kicks off, I think we're going to see the Dak that we saw whenever he left due to injury is what I think. I don't think, I guess the proper way to answer this, I don't think Dak skips a beat. I don't think there's going to be this idea where we need like 2 or 3 or 4 games for Dak to play himself back into shape or different things of that ilk. I think Dak week one will be the Dak that we saw this season, before he left due to injury.
Especially if we do a new type of offensive scheme, if they implement the West Coast offense, that's gonna be fun. Listen, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Son Dak, man. Dak.
And that's a great way to lead out of here. Son Dak. Hey, if you're on Twitter, man, come follow me. Your _guy_Knicks. That's where I'm at on Twitter. Come give me a follow. Stargang is the Facebook group. Stargang is also the Facebook page. Like and follow the page. Come join the group and get into the conversation. On YouTube, you'll find me and Spoony both there. On YouTube, it is Stargang Podcast. Somewhere underneath there, hit the old sub and notification bell as well. We're almost over 100, and we're not there with Jay Tuck said, but we're working, we're grinding. We just started really pushing it this year. Of course, you can find my guy Spoony. Spoony 881. Is that what it is?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Spoony
sir.
881 on Twitter. Of course, you can catch him on all the other affiliate stations that I talked about. I got to get you more active on Twitter, Spoony. You kind of, man, I don't know. We got to get you. Yeah, we got to get Spoony more active. Spoony, yeah. And look. Follow Spoony on Twitter, and if you know about any PS5 in the Brooklyn area, let him know he is on the hunt. Go ahead. What you got?
So real quick. So the other day, I was on TomsGuide.com, right? And it said possibly that Target will start doing the PS5s. It says Sunday for sure at 3 a.m. my time, Eastern time. But there's Saturday too. Do you know I didn't get a good ounce of sleep this whole weekend? I was like this. I had every store opened up. My count rate, I'm like this. 3 times I had it in my queue.
Yeah.
3 times I had it in my queue, but then the boss took it over. So you know, I decided. I said, you know what? I saw a quote from Tuck. They motivated me. Tuck came out and said, "If you don't got the PS5 now, that means you don't want it." So I said, "Damn it, you know what? Forget these consumer stores. I've been on Craigslist looking for the best bidder. I got 3 people on standby right now, so I'm gonna have that joint very soon."
It's funny. It's funny. I'm not even really a PlayStation guy, but somehow I got one.
Don't end up with an empty box though, man.
Like I got one. I'm not even a PlayStation guy. I got one.
Down to it, I got it the first day it came out, and what I'm complaining about, I can't find the 3D headset. I'm like, I can't get a headset.
Oh, the 3D Pulse, bro.
Yeah. That's what I've been complaining about. And I see
them things are wild.
Is that nice? The 3D Pulse?
Wow. Yeah. I can't find it nowhere. But that's what I've been.
I mean, until we find it, we don't know. Yeah, that part. Yeah. Tuck, let the people know where they can find you, man, before we get up out of here.
Yeah, you follow me on Twitter at JTuck151. I appreciate all Cowboys fans. And then also follow me on my YouTube channel, Cowboys Fans Only. And then you can go to cowboysfansonly.com to get your CFO merch, man. And if you do got a PS5, you can hit me up on Madden. TZ does it. I'm giving out work, man, like Job Corps right now.
Well, I mean, I heard you got. Well, hold on. I heard you got work though.
I did get work. I got work, and there's a guy. Shouts out to the dude. He's a YouTuber. He worked me in Weekend League, and then he sent me a bunch of links to his channel. And so, because there's a new glitch offense out there that I didn't know about, he just kept running it over and over and getting wide open post routes. And he was like, "All right, I'm gonna help you out. This is how you stop it." So, but now I'm running the glitch offense. So it is what it is.
Here's my thing, man. Look, from a long-term player, I was sponsored by EA way back then. I'm an old guy, but I was sponsored for EA tournaments and stuff back in the day through EA and stuff like that. One of my things is, man, and I hate this new generation of, well, it's all about the glitch offense now and not football. I'm like, but I mean, it's glitch offense. It's glitch offense and nano blitzes.
Right. Yep. That's it.
I'm just like,
you gotta find it. You gotta find it out quick, man. Because if not, like I said, he was running wide open, and I was running like cover 4, and I'm just like, how was he getting over the top?
Oh no. Yeah, in my look in my online league that I dominate. By the way, played a guy this last Super Bowl. Oh. Didn't matter. He ran it 3 times. I had 3 different defenses. Guess what? Didn't matter.
Yeah.
That mother was wide. I'm like,
right.
There's literally no reason this guy's wide open.
Right.
And he ended up beating me by 7 or whatever. Three plays, 202 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah. Hated it. Definitely hated it. And then the other funny thing too is the PC, because we don't have a full 32 league team. Mm-hmm. The PC, I was up by enough points. They ran a Hail Mary play, but it was the end of the game. It didn't say they ran a play.
Right.
It was the glitch play. I literally watched all of my DBs, all 6 of them. Well, hold on, 4 in my linebacker. So 5 guys, all just run over here and just come all the way down for no reason and just let this guy run. I'm like, Madden, EA, I hate y'all. Do better.
It's such a horrible game, but I can't help it. I love it.
I mean, what else? Bro, what else? Look, college football. What else we going to do? It is what it is. Sucker for the football. Appreciate y'all as always, man. Y'all be safe. And hey, man, in this thing, who we playing next week, y'all? Who we playing?
Oh, man. I don't know. They might have found them a quarterback, man. So,
I know, and I'm not really a fan. Well, here's the thing. Even if Carson might have had a chance to play the rest of this year, boy, Carson came out with that
right,
ran in his mouth. I was like, oh, he's tender.
Right, he's mad. He's mad what he's seeing right now too, because Hurts is cooking. So
yeah, fair enough. All right, y'all. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone.